The Legend of Zelda series is known for its unique and innovative ideas. Almost every Zelda game looks completely different from one another, with completely different art styles, character designs, and mechanics. Nintendo is constantly trying to evolve Zelda and try new things within the series. Just look at The Wind Waker. This game has an over-the-top cartoon art style and allows you to explore a vast ocean. Then compare it to Twilight Princess, which only released a few years later. This Zelda game has a much more realistic art style, while having darker and more adult themes compared to The Wind Waker. Although each game is completely different, sometimes Nintendo feels there's more they can do with a game's engine, assets, and art style. The most recent example of this is Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom reused the same engine, assets, and even map as its predecessor, Breath of the Wild, while still somehow feeling like a whole different game. Tears of the Kingdom felt so much more alive, with hundreds of hours of new content. Before that, Nintendo simply added DLC to Breath of the Wild, which added new content such as a Master Quest and new shrines to complete. The first time Nintendo has reused the previous Zelda game's content for a new mainline game is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is a game that has tons of reused assets and characters from Ocarina of Time, a game considered to be one of the most influential games of all time. What's interesting about Majora's Mask though, is that it originally started out as an expansion for the Nintendo 64 disk drive, which was only released in Japan. However, the Zelda team decided to try and make it a full game instead, but was given a short deadline. Because of this, the game was in development for less than 2 years. Even with this incredibly short development time, however, they were able to create what some argue to be one of the best games in the series, and my personal favorite. But what makes this game so special? What makes it stand out from the rest? There are a few reasons this game stands out so much, one being the 3-day cycle. In case you haven't played Majora's Mask, your task is to complete 4 dungeons within a 3-day cycle. If you are unsuccessful, the moon will fall and destroy everything and everyone in the world of Termina. However, you can rewind time and restart the 3-day cycle whenever you please, helping to lengthen the time that you have to complete all 4 temples in the game. This is a system I have not seen or even heard of in any other game to this day, which is unfortunate because it opens a lot of doors for cool and unique ideas and side quests. Some quests span the whole 3 days and need to be started on the first day, while some are started at a specific hour on a specific day. And because of this, the world feels much more alive compared to Ocarina of Time. And while you can argue that there are plenty of games that have people doing different things by the hour, it's just not the same. In Breath of the Wild, characters are doing different tasks by the hour, but it's just repeated every day. Nothing changes the next day in-game, where Majora's Mask, not completing a quest on the first day could have a completely different outcome the next day, and some characters will be in different places on different days. Each day is different. This is something I wish could be incorporated into games now, but of course the only downside is you would need reversing time as a mechanic for it to work really, or make a game that spans over several days like Voices of the Void. Another aspect of the game that makes it feel so special is the side quests. As I said earlier, there are side quests that need to be completed on different days in the game, and each one is unique and interesting, while actually giving you unique rewards. These rewards can sometimes be items, but they'll mostly be masks that give you abilities to help you in your main quest to save Termina. Some of my favorites are the Blast Mask, which can be super helpful if you don't have bombs, as long as you're using your shield when you're using it, the Bunny Hood, which allows you to run faster, and yes, I know it's technically not a mask, but the game says it's one, so. And of course the Fierce Deity Mask, which can be attained when all the mask quests are completed. The longest and most rewarding side quest in the game, however, is the Anju Confei side quest. This quest spans the whole 3 days, all the way to the last few minutes in-game. Another aspect of these side quests I should mention is the circumstances of most of the characters you interact with. A lot of these characters are in anguish and in desperate need of help, unlike a lot of side quests in other Zelda games that basically just want you to collect things. Each character has their own story to tell and their own emotional burdens that need healing. Even outside of side quests, if you talk to the people of Termina on the final day, they express their sadness, despair, and helplessness, as they realize there's nothing they can do to prevent the moon from falling. Another aspect of the game that makes it special within the Zelda series are the transforming masks. There are a few masks within the game that allow you to transform into either a Zora, Goron, or Deku Scrub. There's also the Giant's Mask that allows Link to transform into, well, a giant, and the Fierce Deity Mask, as mentioned earlier, transforms you essentially into a god. The Giant's Mask and Fierce Deity Mask, however, can only be used in certain circumstances, such as boss battles, though the Giant's Mask only works in one specific boss battle. It is a really cool idea to allow Link to utilize transformations to gain different abilities, though technically this isn't the only time this is used within the series. Twilight Princess allowed you to transform into a wolf, but it was only the wolf and nothing else. What's even greater about these masks is the emotional stories behind them. The Deku Mask came from the deceased son of the Deku Butler. The Goron Mask came from Darmani, the Goron leader who died trying to save his tribe from the unrelenting snowfall, and the Zora Mask that came from Macau, who died fighting the Gerudo pirates in an attempt to save Lulu's eggs. These masks add so much to the game that really differentiates it port from Ocarina of Time. With all that said, Majora's Mask is a very creative game that's packed with interesting characters and stories, while adding a layer of humanity and emotional depth that Ocarina of Time didn't really provide. It's crazy to think that this game with its complicated world and time system was only made in less than 2 years, albeit with the use of Ocarina of Time's assets and engine. Majora's Mask will probably always be my favorite Zelda game because of its use of creative and innovative ideas that separate it from the other games within the series. I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is my first attempt at a video essay type video, and it probably won't be my last. My hope is that with each video I can learn something to enhance the quality for all of you guys watching and hopefully get better at doing these kinds of videos. Thank you all so much for watching. See you later.